Happy Word Wisdom Wednesday, everybody. Today I want to talk about the word consciousness. Consciousness means the state of being aware or being aware of your surrounding. It also means the fact of awareness by the mind itself, of itself, or the world. Or some people would say the awareness of awareness. In metaphysical circles, we understand that all objects have consciousness because all things that exist have life in them, even quote-unquote dead things. So I have consciousness, animals have consciousness, but a head of lettuce has consciousness, and even a nail has consciousness because everything is made up of the exact same stuff. In quantum physics, we now understand that all matter, including the empty space between us, is made up of molecules and atoms, which have within them a whole other small set of things called quarks. So atoms aren't even the smallest thing in the universe. A whole mess of crap comes out of an atom, and they're called quarks. And all of these things behave in certain ways. They are alive, and they respond to us. They respond to each other. The environment is in a constant state of responsiveness to itself. So all of consciousness, all of the environment has consciousness. Experiments have been done in laboratories that have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that particles turn to waves when they are not being observed, and that waves turn to particles and make a specific choice about what form they will take when they are being observed. Scientists have discovered this, and in some cases they don't know what to make of it. But the idea here is that any experiment that we do, we are intrinsically linked to, because consciousness is on a continuum. I don't have my own consciousness that stops here at the edge of my being. My consciousness spreads out around me and affects the consciousness of everything around me. The consciousness of this whiteboard, the consciousness of you guys watching, the consciousness of this remote control that I just dropped. Everything is affected by my consciousness, and in turn, I am affected by the consciousness of all things. Life is fully alive and responding to us in every moment, just like we are fully alive and responding to life in every moment. My life coaching teacher and a personal hero of mine, Martha Beck, talks about this in one of her books. It's called Steering by Starlight. And she gives an experiment that you can do, which is to go into a grocery store on one day in a certain state of being and see how everyone in the grocery store reacts to you or responds to you. Go into the grocery store the next day in another state of being, see how everybody responds to you then, and compare notes. Here's the idea. The idea is that on day one, prior to going into the grocery store, you take some breaths, you get quiet, you go into your body, and you magnify whatever negative thoughts you think about yourself. I'm unworthy, I'm needy, people have to help me, nobody likes me, and just literally put those thoughts present in your brain, and then walk into the grocery store and see what happens. You will be amazed at what happens, because people will steer clear of you, or there will be agita, there will be anger. It is amazing and palpable, the results that you get when you go into the store in the state of being of desperation, neediness, lack, and victimhood. That is what you see reflected back to you in the people at the store. The next day, the idea is to whoop yourself up into a state of positivity. I am enough, I am happy, I don't need anything from anyone, I am powerful, people respond to me with kindness, love, and openness, the world is willing to help me. You put those thoughts, you put that state of being into your mind, and then when you go into the grocery store, you will be amazed at what you find. There is an amazing, palpable, and real difference between the way you are responded to on day one and the way you are responded to on day two. I have seen this work in my life. I didn't do the exact grocery store experiment, but I have done this in other areas of my life deliberately, choosing to have a more positive state of being in going into a situation that I know habitually is going to be negative, like visiting certain people or certain meetings. And when you go and you choose deliberately to harness your own state of being, you will be shocked and amazed at the magic that will happen, how others respond in kind to your state of being, almost as if in spite of themselves. So I like to say that it's magic and it's mystical, but the truth is there is science validating this, that there is a field of energy around every human, It has been measured in certain laboratory conditioned science experiments to show that it goes a few feet outside of us, and depending on our state of being and our energy, it can go as much as 10 to 12 feet outside of us. The HeartMath Institute has shown that the electromagnetic field that's around our body becomes magnified and more powerful when we shift awareness from our head into our heart, because the heart awareness is an awareness of peace, of love, and of gratitude. There are a few steps you can follow. You can find this on the heartmathinstitute.org, but it is a mind-heart coherence technique where you take some deep breaths and you put your hand on your heart, because by putting your hand on your heart, you are helping your body and your mind shift the awareness from this literal area of your body to this literal area of your body, because you can feel the feeling and the touch. So you do that and you close your eyes and you start taking deep breaths. And as you take deep breaths, you activate your imagination to see the breaths as going in and out from your heart center, not just from your mouth and your nose and not into your stomach. I mean, you breathe like normal. You have to breathe that way. But you use your imagination to feel the breaths going in and out from your heart center. In and out from your heart center. That's just another way of helping to shift your awareness from your brain into your heart. So you shift it with your hand and you shift it with your imagination. And then as you do that, you can hold in your mind the thoughts about the things you would prefer. Especially if you have a question that you want answer to, your heart intuition can give you those answers with a screaming yes or a screaming no, which doesn't come in English. It comes in a feeling that is unmistakable in your heart when you've shifted your awareness there. So you can use this technique to go inside and find direction in life. And it works amazingly well. And the other caveat to this is that you don't have to, but it magnifies it if you can engender a state of gratitude of anything. Just pick something in your life that you feel grateful for and focus on that. And once you're in this state of gratitude and you've activated your imagination and shifted your awareness into your heart, you are accessing divine guidance. And by divine guidance, I mean your own guidance, because you're divine and I'm divine. Everything that exists is divine. If it exists, it got the stamp of approval from life, God, source, the great whatever, to exist. So who are you to argue with that? You're divine, okay, because you're here. And so if you want divine guidance, just shift out of the English or language thinking mind, because words are symbolic and they're not the truth. They're just pointing at the truth. So you got to shift away from the symbols into the deep, deep reality of who you are. And when you do that, that's where your guidance comes in. That's the nature of consciousness. Consciousness is awareness that is aware of itself. And so this technique from the HeartMath Institute is a way of harnessing the power of your consciousness to trust that you are affecting the world around you and the world around you is affecting you, and that this technique of heart-mind coherence magnifies your electromagnetic field. So it gives you even more ability to impact the environment around you. And I just challenge you guys to go to the grocery store 2 days in a row and try this. Try this technique that Martha Beck taught us. It's amazing, and it will activate a little faith in you, in your ability to infect your outside environment. And that just takes a little bit of the victimhood away from our lives. We live in a world now that feels so out of control, so out of our power. And in a lot of cases, we're seeing a lot of what we don't prefer and a lot of what we don't want. But the truth is, you are an empowered being, and power lies within you. So do this experiment and give yourself a little faith. You will see clearly that you have the power. And when you practice this mind-heart coherence technique, you will also see that you have the answers, that your inner wisdom and your innate guidance is the consciousness that you never have to doubt and that you can always trust. Not the thinker, the heart center. Okay? Let's talk about this in the comments below. I love you and I trust you, humanity. Happy Word Wisdom Wednesday. See you in the next video.